Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, August the 10th, 2018. Welcome to another eBay video. Today we're going to be discussing a lot of eBay topics that I sure hope you'll find helpful, including a lot about the new payment system eBay is rolling out. We're going to talk about an extremely bad, fishy buyer. We're going to talk about service metrics, reserve auctions, my guest spot on the Rake and Profit channel, picture glitches, and we're also going to be discussing some other issues that you had, your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video and from prior videos. Let's get right into it. First, we're going to talk about scams. Farm Girl Scavenger Noel wrote, Pete, Craigslist hunter, had this happen. Not only did he do a video about that, he just today did another video titled Dear Mr. Devon, eBay President. Go check it out. It was nice to meet you, Joe, and sit next to you at the last general session. Yes, it was nice to meet you and hang out with you as well. And also on that same topic, Vicky Gagan wrote, just a quick update on our friend Pete. Got restitution for being scammed. The people at StubHub eBay saw his video and read most of the comments concerning the recent glitches in their servers with postings and searches as well, with scammers pulling the now famous item not as described scam. They may be reimbursing sellers who are victims of scams and also may be financial reimbursement for the recent glitches with pictures of listings and searches. They are looking into more information. Please contact Pete through his YouTube channel, Craigslist Hunter. Let me tell you a little bit about that, for those of you who didn't see the Craigslist video. Craigslist Hunter Pete sold an item to a person with zero feedback, and I believe it was a guest account, to a P.O. box in Puerto Rico. The item was valued at $100. The buyer got the item and claimed it was not as described, sent something back to Pete that weighed exactly the same, but it was 4 or 5 leaky batteries. Peter then called up eBay customer service to make a complaint, and they said they would look into it, but they didn't do anything. After, I believe it was 2 days, they refunded the buyer his money, so Pete got stung. Peter then made a video on YouTube showing the leaky batteries, the guy's name and address, discussing the case in detail. He made a very good video, and I'm glad he did. Somehow, some people from eBay saw the video and decided to do a legit investigation and gave Pete his money back. Now, whether eBay is going to prosecute this guy or whether the post office will even prosecute the guy for mail fraud, I don't know. But that's something that really should be looked into. I understand eBay's a big company, and although $100 is a lot to you and me, it's not a lot to a huge company, and it would cost them so much more money to prosecute each of these cases than the cases are actually monetarily worth. But still, I do believe some precedent has to finally be said about this kind of thing, because it does happen, all right? And oddly enough, lately, it seems to be happening a lot more. Either that or people are being more vocal about it. Let's continue. As far as eBay Open is concerned, Helen Gerhardt wrote, Joe, it was nice to meet you at that final eBay radio show. Somewhere in the comments today, people mentioned the recent layoffs at eBay may have been another factor in cutting some of the goodies at eBay Open. This was my first year, so I can't compare. I do know that it looks very, very bad for a company to host a lavish party after recent layoffs. Even employees who get to keep their jobs would resent it. Cuts need to be shared everywhere, especially if they can't be shared equally. Otherwise, it destroys morale. So for those of you guys who don't know, eBay laid off 334 people recently, and I believe 224 of them were from the San Jose campus. And I'm not talking low-level employees either. I'm talking guys that were making coin. eBay did some big cutbacks. George Theophanopoulos wrote, "Thanks, Joe, for the eBay Open 2018 recap. This weekend has been rough in eBay Motors. I wonder if you have also been experiencing a slump in sales. I was on the phone with their support for an hour and a half today trying to figure out if anything is wrong with my account. Yet the only thing they keep telling me is to try free returns. Some things I sell can probably go free returns due to lower weight, but there are other items that are just too heavy. I don't get why eBay keeps messing around with a system that is not broken. To add on top of that, I'm now seeing a whole bunch of new features in Seller Hub." George, I sell on eBay Motors too, and I feel your pain. And I heartfully do not recommend you offering free returns, nor do I recommend it to anybody in eBay Motors. We just get too many returns, and our items are larger than most, and they can be quite pricey to ship. You go ahead and you do what works for you, but I'm telling you, I sell on eBay Motors, and I'm not offering free returns. I am slower than I was this time last year or even last month. This whole summer, I've been averaging anywhere from, let's say, 10 to 30% slower at any given time. So it's basically being felt system-wide, in my opinion. Several people wrote in about the new beta payment system that I talked about last week. 4 people. Stephen Bond wrote, "I wouldn't opt into any eBay beta testing program on general principles. Let them work out the kinks with somebody else as their guinea pig." BizHacks wrote, "Never opt in on beta with anything." ZXC wrote, "I think the only people who would switch to the beta ad yen are fishy sellers who have been kicked off PayPal." Anyway, we had the same rainstorms you mentioned in the DC area this week. It's been crazy storm-wise. We have had heavy thunderstorms every single day this week. The days start out right like it is now, sunny, but the humidity kicks in and bang, they come crashing in later in the day. The last comment I'm going to read is from St. Paul MN Seller. "Joe, any seller opting into the new beta processing system will be cutting their own throat, as almost all US buyers have PayPal. Shouldn't eBay give the buyer what they want instead of what eBay wants? I heard rumors that eBay will not allow next day transfers and are planning to hold sellers' money 3 days or longer. Not sure if it's true, but if it is, sellers will not be happy." I've heard some of that too, and through a quirk in scheduling, through a real quirk, later today, Friday, I have been asked to sit in with some eBay executives on a conference call, a go-to-meeting, regarding the new ad yen payment system and the beta rollout. I would love to be able to tell you about what's going on now, but I can't because I'm filming this before the 4 o'clock event. But by the time I upload this video, the event will have transpired. I may leave a comment in the comment section with what transpired regarding the beta processing system, the rollout, and what transpires at the meeting itself. So let's hope that works out, and I have some more information for you at that time. I have been contacted several times, as I said, in the last week by eBay asking me to join this meeting. They really want me to join it. I said I would because I really do want to know what's going on. I think it's great that they're putting this out. I have not joined, and at this time, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't have any plan to join. I see too many possible problems. But let me go to the meeting later this afternoon, see what happens, and I'll report back. Next, we're going to have to do 2 cutaways in this video. The first one is about service metrics. In a Facebook post, somebody was complaining about their service metrics, and I did notice a little bit of a glitch that I want to share with you. So let me go to the first cutaway of the video, and then we'll come back and discuss it. Okay guys, I'd like you to follow along with me as we go along here. I'm in my Seller Hub right now. I've put my cursor over the Performance tab right here, and you can see there's a drop-down menu. I would like you to click here where it says Service Metrics. Now, you will notice here on my screen that it clearly has me selling in collectibles, and it shows absolutely no information whatsoever. Now, most of you guys know I do not sell in collectibles. I sell in eBay Motors. Why it has collectibles on top, I will never know. The only way I can find out exactly what my situation is by clicking right here, this drop-down menu, and buried under it is eBay Motors. So we'll click on that, and it will load. Now, according to this metric, look, it says that my peers, the average eBay Motors seller, would land right about here at 1.47%. And I am down here at 0.69%. So according to eBay, I am in excellent shape with returns. But why is it saying I've only had one return? And it's saying that the one return is arrived damaged. Now, I do get my share of returns, and 99% of them are because the buyer purchased the wrong size, or it doesn't fit, or he changed mind, that kind of thing. I don't remember anything arriving damaged whatsoever. That really mystifies me. But I just wanted you guys to see how you can arrive at your service metrics in case you try this and it shows you selling in a category you really don't sell in. Let's get back to the video now. Okay guys, you saw in that little cutaway that it defaults to collectibles for my category that I sell in. Even though I don't sell in collectibles, I sell in eBay Motors. If you click the little toggle button on top, then eBay Motors is revealed. I have reported this to the powers that be, and they are going to send it off to the team that handles this particular feature. I would like you guys, when you get a chance, every one of you, to check your service metrics, and if you don't mind, report below where you stand in your particular category. I showed you that according to eBay, I am in very good shape in eBay Motors with my account. I'd like to know where you sell, what department, what category, and how it's showing your account. Are you in very good shape? Are you in decent shape? Or do you have cause for concern? Please comment below. While I was in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to be asked by Steve Rakin to be a guest on his Rakin Profit channel. That video was posted the other day. I'm going to put a link to it in the description box below. Please check out that video and support Steve Rakin. He is a mega popular YouTuber. He does videos on eBay, but he also does them on Amazon and other selling venues as well. I'm sure most of you guys know him, but for those of you who don't, check him out. He's a cool dude. I have been talking about the picture glitches for many, many weeks, and I finally called eBay Concierge the other day to talk to them about it. I only had to wait on hold about 8 seconds before somebody picked up the phone. I explained I was calling about the picture glitch. So the representative said to me, well, Joe, yes, we're aware of that, but we sent out letters to all the affected sellers stating that we would give you insertion fee credits, but they had to be used by July 28th. I said, well, that's real nice. This is August 7th. I said, come on, man. I said, I didn't even get that letter. He says, well, let me check your spam box and let me check your messages and let's see what's up. Give me a couple of minutes. Because I know I didn't get that letter. So a couple of minutes later, he comes back and he says, Joe, I have to apologize. Obviously, we dropped the ball and we never sent you that letter. What I could do for you is offer you one free store subscription month. One free month of your premium store, which is valued $59.95. So of course I accepted that. So if any of you store owners out there would call up, I would expect you would get the same treatment. If any of you have called, let me know what happened and how that worked out for you. I'm going to now stop for a second because I am thirsty and want to drink from the Fox News Cup of Life. This is the Fox News Cup of Life. Happy is he who drinks from it. Yeah. I noticed a trend on eBay regarding sellers. I have been buying a little more than usual on eBay lately because I've been running out of a lot of stuff. So I buy stuff on eBay to flip it and make a profit. And I'm noticing sellers, by and large, are very slow to ship. What are they waiting for? People are waiting 3 and 4 days to ship me items. Some are not uploading tracking. None are leaving positive feedback. I honestly don't know what's going on. There's one seller I have bought 3 items from in the last month. Items were great. I made money on all of them. But this seller has never once left me a positive feedback. Now again, I can't complain, or I probably shouldn't complain, because my new rule myself as a seller is I'm not leaving any more feedback till I firstly receive a positive feedback. And that's because, as I explained to you, in my opinion, it was causing too many returns. My returns have been way down the last couple of months. So if you'll notice, when I showed you in my seller metrics earlier in the video during the first cutaway, it showed I only had 1 return, which seems unusually low. But I got to thinking about it. My returns have been a lot lower. They really have lately, because I stopped leaving bulk positive feedback. And in my opinion, that seemed to be shaking the bee's nest. Once I would do that, I would get all these return requests. So this is working out for me, and I'm going to continue doing it. About the eBay seller update that came out the other day, there are not that many things that are worth talking about. The few things that you don't know aren't really worth mentioning, save for a few. One thing made me really happy. eBay is raising the fee on reserve auctions. I am so glad. I hope eBay sticks it to them where the sun doesn't shine. I have always hated reserve auctions. I find them to be seedy and dishonest. If you have an item you want to sell and you want to list it in an auction, you list it for a price that you're comfortable with. Absolutely none of this 99-cent reserve crap. That's ridiculous, and in my opinion, it's dishonest. Anyway, eBay is raising the fee to $5 for a reserve auction, or 7.5% of the final value fee, whichever is greater. I hope they raise it even more. I want to do away with all reserve auctions on eBay. I freaking hate them. I can't tell you how often I'll be shopping on eBay to buy stuff to resell, and I'll come across something at a reasonable price. Yeah! I click on it, reserve. I just back right out of it. Well, good. Stick it to those reserve bums. Another change in the eBay update that's very interesting is eBay is going to allow sellers to show their phone number, their contact phone number for eBay, if they choose to opt in. Meaning that a buyer will now be able to call us if we opt in before they make the purchase to ask us questions about the item we're selling. Now, if you don't want to opt into this, you don't have to. But I think it's a very, very good thing. As you know, I get quite a few people that will buy something from me, pay me, and then after that, start backpedaling and asking me questions like, will this fit? What size is it? Etc., etc. That's no good. They should be asking those questions beforehand. So I have no problem with a potential buyer calling me on the phone during business hours and asking me a legit question about an item he's considering buying. I think this is a very good thing eBay is doing. So, of course, I opted into it. Guess what? I already had my first call. A woman called me yesterday, not with a question about the item per se. She says, will you go lower on the price? The price of the item is $25. She lives all the way out in Arizona, okay? I said to her, do me a favor. I said, see if you can find it locally. That way you will save on shipping. Okay? Guess what happened? All right, she hung up, went on her way. Within a couple of hours, a buyer in the global shipping program jumped in and bought the item for the $25. This is a win-win for me. That's why a lot of times I don't come down on prices on certain items, especially cheap items. This is doubly important because, as I said, the buyer who made the purchase was in the global shipping program. And had I opted into the eBay beta payment program, I would not be allowed. Lesson learned. This is an important lesson to be learned because had I opted into eBay's beta payment processing program, I would not have gotten that sale because it does not support the global shipping program, which I would have been excluded from. So there's a lesson to be learned there, right? Now, I want to talk about a fishy buyer. In the past, we've all talked about fishy buyers, where a person acts in a way to deceive, to defraud, or to do something not in conjunction with eBay's policies. In most of the time, it's an isolated event, so I really don't pursue the topic all that much. But for the first time in today's video, I'm going to show you a fishy buyer. This will be an occasional but rare feature of the Crazy New York Driver Show, because in order to qualify as the worst type of fishy buyer, the person's actions have to be so egregious, so over the top, as to leave no question whatsoever that their behavior is meant to hurt eBay sellers. I'm not even going to give you a hint as to what I'm about to show you. I'm going to do the cutaway, and then I'm going to come back and we'll discuss it together. I do not have any opening animation for this segment because I did not ask my team to produce a segment of opening animation for this, because I think it's only going to be an occasional feature. Because I tell you, I haven't seen a person like this probably in my 19 years on eBay. And the only reason I found it was because one of you cool cats sent it to me. So without further ado, let's do the cutaway and we'll come back and talk about it. Hello guys, and welcome to the first installment of the Fishy Buyers Hall of Shame. In order to qualify as a fishy buyer, you have to be egregious. I mean, violations have to be so over the top so as to not leave any question whatsoever of the person's culpability. And I would like to thank one of my viewers who sent me this person, because this one is just unbelievable. So let's get started and let's take a look at the feedback they have left for their sellers. Now look at this. Every single solitary feedback is negative. And this is all in 1 month, all this month. Now let's stop right here. This one is neutral, and it was revised on July 24th, which is indicative of the fact that this particular seller probably gave the person their money back and let them keep the item. Let's go to the next page. Look at this mess, will you please? Again, this one's positive, but it's been revised. See it? That's indicative that somebody got their money back and was allowed to keep the item. Look at this. One after the other. Again, a green one right here, revised. A green one, revised. All the rest are red. Here's another green one, revised. How, in God's name, could this be allowed to continue? I honestly don't know. This is sick. Now, green, revised, green, revised. That means these were all negatives. Negative. Again, revised. This, I just don't know what to say. I honestly don't. In all my years on eBay, I don't think I have ever seen a person that negs every single solitary seller. The fact that this person is allowed to do this makes me sick. Let's get back to the video before I throw up. Before we talk about what you just saw, I think this is a very fitting time to take a second drink from the Fox News Cup of Life. Yeah. Guys, I would like your opinion, all your guys' opinion, on what you just saw. Have you ever seen a buyer neg every single seller? It's phenomenal. And what concerns me even more, it's been going on for so long, why hasn't eBay stepped in and eradicated this bug off the platform? Why? 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 If you looked very carefully at the feedback he left for everybody, you'll see they were all negatives. And in the few cases where you saw a positive or a neutral, it was where he revised his feedback. Because in my opinion, the seller caved in and let the guy keep the item and gave him his money back. That's extortion. Clear-cut extortion, and nothing was done about it. I am literally speechless right now. That being said, guys, I'm going to leave you on that note. That is the fitchiest buyer I have come across in years. I really, really would appreciate your comments, A, on his behavior, and B, on the fact that eBay has not stepped in and taken action against this obvious scam account. Could it be that none of the sellers ever called up on this guy? I find that hard to believe. There's so many victims. So please comment. I want to get your opinion on that. Let's do a quick rehash, and I'll let you guys go. Please comment on the eBay beta payment system rollout. Most of you guys commented last week and said you were not opting in. I don't plan to opt in either, but as I said, later today at about 4 o'clock, I do have a go-to meeting with the folks, and hopefully I'll get some more insight and I'll be able to report back to you. If you have any comments on eBay Open, on the new eBay seller update, anything eBay you want, please comment below, especially that fitchy buyer, because that really bums me out that in the year 2018 this behavior can still continue on eBay. It just sucks. Guys, I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thanks for watching. I sure hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm doing a good job and I'm appreciated. If you didn't, please tell me in the comments section what you want me to hit up next week, and I'll be sure happy to do my best to do it. Guys, I am a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind, and I'm making money online. Thank you for watching, and please, if that last cutaway teaches you anything, it should teach you this. Don't be bitchy! Yeah! Peace.